Hello, I'm Vanille O'Neal and you're watching Operation Rainfall. So I'm not a current anime viewer, other than watching Charlotte last fall because it was made by the same studio as Angel Beats, the source of all my tears. I usually don't watch anime as it's airing, but I gave it a shot this season and I was surprised at the number of titles that I found appealing. So I thought, hey, why don't I share my first impressions with our viewers? Before I do though, there are a couple things that I would like to premise. First, the opinions I am about to express are entirely my own, and they do not reflect Operation Rainfall as a whole. Second, as of yesterday, the 4th episode of each of these anime became available to premium Crunchyroll users, and the 3rd episode became available to non-premium users. As a non-premium user who didn't have time to watch all of the episodes last night, I'm basing these impressions off of the first 2 episodes of each anime. Third, I've only chosen to discuss the top 3 anime I anticipate watching all the way through. If you have any recommendations for other anime airing this season, hit me up in the comments and I'll let you know my thoughts. So, with that said, let's get started. The first anime I want to talk about today is Bungo Stray Dogs. Bungo Stray Dogs is an anime about a young boy who is kicked out of an orphanage for questionable reasons. He comes across a strange, suicide-obsessed man named Dazai, who strong-arms him into helping him catch a tiger that's been running loose around the city. Their mission ends up being a success, and Atsushi is invited to join Dazai's detective group. The main draw for this show are definitely the 2 main characters, Atsushi and Dazai. They're both fun and quirky, and they each have like a twist to their personality. Atsushi is a pretty normal boy, and he doesn't seem to have any big ambitions, but when he's thrown into an intense situation, he becomes impulsively altruistic. Dazai is a total goofball, and he has a suicide complex, which is really different, but you can tell that he knows a lot more about the upcoming plot than he lets on. However, by the end of the 2nd episode, there isn't really a plot to keep you watching. Atsushi is initiated into their detective team simply for the sake of being employed, and the team he joins is this hodgepodge group of people with superpowers that don't really relate to one another. So I'm really hoping that the 3rd episode exposes some sort of interesting goal or antagonist for the characters to bond over, because otherwise it feels like despite the main characters being interesting, the anime is gonna go nowhere fast and it's just gonna fizzle out. And so, the topic of riveting plots and character bonds brings me to the next title that I watched, which is called Kisniver, I think? Kisniver is about a deadpan kudere high school boy who doesn't react to pain. Through a series of confusing events that I'm not even going to try to describe, he and some classmates form a bond over being able to feel each other's pain. Unlike Bungo Stray Dogs, which just kind of like puts all the characters together, Kisniver makes it very blatantly clear that shit is gonna go down eventually, and being a trigger anime, you can expect that shit is gonna be pretty huge. That said, I was kind of skeptical of the main cast because half of them feel like recycled characters from previous trigger anime. Tenga is this outgoing beefcake, and he has red hair and glasses, but he's pretty much Kamina from Gurren Lagann. Miyama she's a super eccentric girl, and she just feels like Mako's moe little sister. Like, it feels like when Trigger was making Kill la Kill, they made 2 potential character designs for Mako, one with a bowl cut and the other with pigtails, and they ended up going with the bowl cut, but then they held on to that other character design for their next anime. And Chidori is Yoko from Gurren Lagann. They didn't even try to give her a different hair color or give her glasses. She's just Yoko. And don't get me wrong, all of these characters are ones that I've absolutely adored from previous Trigger anime. My only complaint is that Trigger makes such interesting, exciting characters that I feel like by recycling old popular characteristics from previous Trigger anime characters, we're losing the potential for new characters that Trigger has to offer. The new characters that are there, though, are super duper cool. The main character is this oblivious dork, and he blatantly has room to grow. He has no sense of self-reflection, and you can tell he's just starting to get there by the end of the second episode, so I have really, really high hopes for him. There's a really flamboyant, popular kid, which is totally one of my fave tropes in anime. And there's also this glasses girl who is just like super sour and doesn't think that the plot is worth her time, and I just love it to death. I'm super duper excited to see what kind of shit is going to go down in the upcoming episodes, and I have super high hopes for this anime, and the opening is super cool. It's like really trippy, and the music's really good, so if anything, you should just give the opening a watch. Which doesn't bring me to my last anime, but I'm gonna go there anyways, and that anime is Joker Game. Joker Game is about a lawful, good military man named Sakuma, living in pre-World War II Japan, who is somehow working with a department of the military that trains spies. He's off-put by the questionable tactics that the department is teaching its trainees, but after a sticky situation involving another military department, he realizes that good doesn't always have to be lawful. The first episode of Joker Game felt really long, because the premise of this spy training camp, it's not convoluted, but it's just exposed to the viewer through like third-party narration. Also, there's a good number of trainees in the camp, and you're given all of their names and all of their appearances, so there's a lot to keep up with, and I'm really hoping that we don't have to start differentiating the trainees, because there's no way I'll be able to. So, like, right at the end of the second episode, you see Sakuma considering stepping away from lawful good and going more towards a chaotic good mindset, and I'm really excited to see what ends up happening with Sakuma's character, because you can tell he's starting to consider that two wrongs make a right mentality, and I think it's just going to be a case of how many multiples of two wrongs can he make until he finds himself being an antagonist, and that's a really exciting way for this anime to go. So at the end of the day, if I had to recommend one anime that I'm super confident that it's going to be great, I would recommend Key Sniper. Joker Game has the potential to be amazing, but it also has the potential to just be okay. So we'll see how it goes, but I still think it would be a solid watch either way. And I don't feel comfortable recommending Bungo Stray Dogs until I've seen more of it, because I feel like unless something exciting happens, it's just gonna plateau. And that is what I have to say about this season's anime. If you have any thoughts that you'd like to share, feel free to comment below. And if you, if you maybe liked the video, you can always subscribe to Operation Rainfall's channel. I wouldn't be opposed. And that's all I got.